CTN helps to build media capacity in Sierra Leone.
Hello there, thanks for joining us. This is CTN's Review of the Week, reaching you from our studio at Radio 112 on FM 107.3 Farabe College campus in Freetown. I am Musa by Sise. Here on the Review of the Week, every weekend evening we bring you stories that did make the headlines during the course of the week. Coming up this evening, the Revolutionary United Front Party registers dissatisfaction on the implementation of the Lome Peace Agreement between the government of Sierra Leone and the party.
We want to draw the attention of the government of Sierra Leone that Article 3 of the Lome Peace Agreement states that the government of Sierra Leone shall accord every facility to the Revolutionary United Front Party of Sierra Leone to transform itself into a political party and enter the mainstream of the democratic process. The government has indeed taken the legal steps to register the RUF movement into a political party through an act of parliament, but has not yet accorded every facility to the RUFP to fully enter into the mainstream of the democratic process.
And many other things like transparency and accountability. You look at the party constitution, it tell you, say, the treasurer, for they give quarterly reports as to the financial status of a party. There is this rumor where they pass all over the country, say, hey, now one man they spend an APC, now next man they spend an APC. We and IM, they say, no, we refuse to say that. We not accept that because we know that when the party then have power, all honorable members of parliament, all ministers, all councillors, all head of parastatals, all ambassadors, on source, they pay something to the party.
For details of these stories and more, stay with me in these 23 minutes. According to statistics, women are said to constitute over 50% of the country's population. However, many believe that such percentage does not reflect in terms of women attaining leadership positions in the country. Against that backdrop, the 50-50 group, in collaboration with the European Union and Search for Common Ground, has engaged registered political parties in the country to encourage them to give party symbols to more women. Haja Mariama Fofana is the Evaluation and Monitoring Officer, 50-50 Group Sierra Leone.
This year we don't do it for half a century now. We don't put women there that in the back burner. Women, they know they take position there. And women form about 51% of the population. It means that the concerns and needs of women are left out. Now, men, they no more they talk for women there. And, I think to see for governance, for being democratic, and for taking the interest of every sector of the society. You forget the young people, you forget women, you forget the aged, you forget people with disabilities, all sectors. But with political system, the way they operate, now so man them. All the other sectors left out. And more we find out for say that old people in leadership positions. So we want to change that one day. Let us see now, if we change this year, so get more women in politics, let us see how we development could move forward.
Now let me look at the areas they want to target and which district don't have for target with this particular and they want to start so.
Now we target 3 districts. Kenema gets only 1 female member of parliament. Cambia no gets any female member of parliament. Tonkolili gets 1. So you see female representation very minimal in the areas here so. There gets a few women there who are councillors. So we pick the 3 districts there so for work with them, for see how we go able for change the situation of women there, for me they get more women there. Because to say women they know they aspire. Then they aspire, the women they did it in Boku. But this project here, we target 225 women, 75 from each district. So for me to train them, and now we could start early. We start now 2019. So till 2022, we hope say that Umayaso will build their confidence, we will make them visible at the community and the wards them and the constituencies them, and also get the political parties them, for make them begin the change, for make them bring in women them more than political leadership position.
Haja Mariama Fofana, Evaluation and Monitoring Officer, 50-50 Group Sierra Leone, talking there to Lucy Imanet Aliyu. The National Reformation Movement is an affiliate body of the All People's Congress that is aimed at reforming and restructuring the party in order to ensure that all members of the party realize their potentials irrespective of their tribe or region. Against that backdrop, the movement has on Monday held a press conference to state their position on the negotiation held between them and the party's leadership, which they described to be unsuccessful. Mohammed Sheridan Kamara is the chairman and leader of the National Reformation Movement.
The rationale behind the press conference are for inform the public, for making them aware with now we position with the ongoing NRM negotiations with the APC party. Clearly, when we don't go to court, it reach a point, the party say, make we can talk. We say because we are members of the party, one force that say we come together as a family, we go start the process formally for make we talk. The things we agree that firstly, anything we discuss now the negotiation process while they go on, we not for letter out to the public. We agree to that. Then secondly, make we give a position paper as to exactly what you want to see the party do going forward. So we prepare the paper within 1 or 2 weeks time. We submit them to the facilitator. We get 3 copies. One for the chairman of the party, the other one for the secretary general and the deputy leader of the party. The day we'll get 3 copies in the morning, in the afternoon, then submit and give Adebayo. Adebayo reinforce them on we for the rest of the day they course. So then breach that particular thing, the confidentiality, we not conventional at all. But we decide for keep quiet, to not respond, not say anything. But it don't take almost more than 1 month now since we don't submit the document. They be supposed to respond according to agreement. That when we submit, therefore respond, then we continue negotiations. But since then, we'll submit, instead of the response to the document, we get Adebayo, then they're not agree for me to be again at all. So what they can do, don't find out now that they're always the same people, they go engage the plaintiff them, with their families them, go connive with them, make them go pull the case out of the court. So see and see, now just manipulative people, they're not actually ready for me to talk and get this thing settled. So because we want to make the public aware, because they also go around and say, we don't want for talk with the party, we don't want for negotiate. So how go say no want for negotiate? Who is not sincere in this circumstance? I just want to decide, we inform the public through a press conference and a press statement, make the public know how far we don't come and why they still meet in the negotiation process.
So waiting for be the plan B of the movement in terms of when I don't get in negotiation, I don't go at the negotiation table, and then I don't reach that particular negotiation day. Waiting for being a next step at this particular moment.
Yes, well, it's very, very clear. The case in our court, and the case will continue in our court. And now we'll get 2 options. One, because our party, we always get the opportunity for go back on our table. We go sit down, we talk. At that, we don't agree to. So let us talk. Yeah. So don't go start the process. If everything will go fine, or if we don't negotiate day, we'll get a consent judgment. We to agree. Now for to go to court, we'll go to the judge say, now this we don't agree as a family. The judge for say, okay, we're fine. Until our family, we're not go settle. But because they not agree for me to talk, they have to manipulate the process. The other option, now for continue the case in our court. Since the case in our court, we go continue. Court dey on recess now. The moment court open, we go press very hard. Make we continue the case. Make we get judgment before the expiration of their mandate, on the 15th of October next month.
Mohammed Sheridan Kamara, the chairman and leader of the National Reformation Movement of the All People's Congress, talking there to Lahai Jackson. The Revolutionary United Front Party is a political party formed as a result of one of the agreements in the Lomé Peace Accord between the government of Sierra Leone and the Revolutionary United Front movement, which led to the end of the civil war in the country. Against that backdrop, members of the Revolutionary United Front Party have registered their dissatisfaction over the unwillingness of governments of Sierra Leone, both past and present, to implement the Lomé Peace Agreement. Lahai Jackson was at a press conference organized by the party and filed in this report.
The Lomé Peace Accord na agreement where the Revolutionary United Front, we now run turn political party and government of Salone be signed for make peace go come na the country. This agreement get plenty thing them, we member them na this party for benefit, but according to the member they are so, then thing they are so, they don't benefit them for a very long time now. This will make them call journalists and civil society organization them by one press conference and talk about the thing them where they unbox them. Abdullahi Sakor, now the public relation officer for the party, will start for talk about the objective of the press conference.
Our objective as a revolutionary party is the effective and efficient implementation of the Lomé Peace Agreement that was signed between the government of Sierra Leone and the Revolutionary United Front Party of Sierra Leone in Lomé, Togo, on the 7th of July 1999 by the imperative need to meet the desire of the people of Sierra Leone for a definitive settlement of the fratricidal war which was in our country and for genuine peace and national unity and reconciliation. The 7th of July 2020 this year marks 21 years now since the signing of the peace agreement in Lomé between the government of Sierra Leone and the Revolutionary United Front Party of Sierra Leone.
Mr. Sarkoby continue for talk about the thing them with the inside agreement where he say the government, both past and present, not they implement.
Our main points of dissatisfaction are as follows. We want to draw the attention of the government of Sierra Leone that Article 3 of the Lomé Peace Agreement states that the government of Sierra Leone shall accord every facility to the Revolutionary United Front Party of Sierra Leone to transform itself into a political party and enter the mainstream of the democratic process. The government has indeed taken the legal steps to register the RUF movement into a political party through an act of parliament, but has not yet accorded every facility to the RUFP to fully enter into the mainstream of the democratic process.
Ebe continue for say, the Lomé Peace Accord Agreement be make provision for free all the ring leaders them will be take part inside the war, but say this not happen as most of the member them they serve jail term na other country.
The Lomé Peace Agreement between the RUF and the government of Sierra Leone granted absolute and free pardon not only to the leader of the RUF, Sierra Leone Army, CDF, but also to all the combatants and collaborators in respect to anything they did in pursuit of their objectives up to the time of the signing of the Lomé Peace Agreement in 1999. This means that no official or judicial action was to be taken against any member of the RUF, CDF, and SLA. The pardon and amnesty also included former combatants, exiles, and others residing outside Sierra Leone. Yet still, our brothers are serving jail term in Rwanda for almost 20 years now. We are kindly appealing to His Excellency the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, the government of Sierra Leone, people of Sierra Leone, moral guarantors, and the international community to see reason and unconditionally forgive and give free pardon and release our brothers serving jail term in Rwanda, namely Mr. Issa Sise, Mr. Maurice Kalong, Mr. Santigi Bobokanu, Mr. Ibrahim Bazi Kamara, and Mr. Augustine Bao.
Madam Sise, na Issa Sise in Wef, one party one them where they serve jail term out of the country, be call on the government, salon people them, for make them forgive a man and other people them where they serve jail term out of the country.
We are with the appeal, now beg with the beg, for let them see reason, for let them man they also return back home, because Rwanda not to them home. And Rwanda na a country where right now so they talk and what they where we say the woman there will worry. And the 18 years not to 18 days where somebody in a detention, a loss in family, will not even get access for see them. Because the court they just give you one ticket for the year. Then pickiness on they don't left hand that they don't born picking, they tell you they free child they not go there. They don't even see them picking themselves. Now the pickiness on they now 15 years, 17 years. So they are the company woman there. We the beg una for let una see reason, let them brother that return back home. Especially General Issa Sise, when Hassan Sise, where they in Rwanda. Let people of Sierra Leone see reason, an effort towards the peace. If you not for like today, so me and you know the Sidona.
Where the person will be stand as a presidential candidate for the RUFP be the talk. A say member them na the RUFP not supposed for suffer the way how they suffer so if the government for implement waiting be the inside the agreement. We him be part.
I want him to please work on this Lomé Peace Accord as they say in the bitumen. Second, we are suffering. We are not supposed to suffer as the Lomé Peace Accord called for. I was part of the ceasefire agreement in Abuja 2000, where the Abuja ceasefire say we should come back to this country and take over everything. They are going to give us work, they will have offices for us, and they will do everything. And even the TRC, I was part of it before we come and sign and become a political party. I am the signatory to that also. But today, I am staying because the party is not moving. We have no work. We are expecting the past government to work on this Lomé Peace Accord because you know about it. We are expecting work. That is what the Lomé Peace Accord say, that every government coming to this country will work with the RUFP.
It be end up for say, in support of them and party member will continue for hold on to the peace with them don't give salon people them and call on the government for implement waiting be there inside the Lome Peace Accord.
And we are going to keep the peace, and we continue keeping the peace until one day. So on behalf of the RLP members, the whole country, we are a political party. I am number 2 signing for this political party at the UN, and we still stand strong. We never retreat. We will be a political party until one day. This is a revolution. We will not regret. But we are asking the government to please come on our aid so that we can work. And we are still looking forward to him, because I was expecting that they should call me to come and work with them, because this is from the Lome Peace Accord. So please, Mr. President, think of us.
Me, we make this report reach you. My name na Lahai Jackson.
You are listening to CTN's Review of the Week, reaching you from our studio here at Radio Mantuel on FM 107.3 at Frabe College campus in Freetown, and I am Musa by Sise. The National Procurement Manual is an instrument that was enacted in 2020 to regulate procurement activities of government institutions in the country. Against that backdrop, the National Public Procurement Authority has launched the National Procurement Manual to help procurement officers in ministries, departments, and agencies to promote transparency and accountability during their procurement activities. Ibrahim Brahmasware is the Chief Executive Officer of the National Public Procurement Authority.
Procurement across the world, including Sierra Leone, get legal instruments for the procurement processes. The law was established in 2004 and been repealed by the 2016 Act. And when the Act went into law, there should be a regulation. And that regulation then passed into law 2020. And for practicing procurement officers and for non-procurement people, for let them able to know exactly the processes and procedures, then the manual and the instrument and the way to be able to make everybody who they deal with procurement processes across the country for able for read and understand and able for participate in procurement processes. So that are the reason why we ensure say this manual come out, and then we use them as a tool for train people so they go know how for do procurement processes across the country, especially where they use government money.
So how this therefore creates an impact towards the procurement process in the country?
Well, we already know that there are a lot of challenges with processes and procedures across the country. In the past 2 years as Chief Executive, we've seen a lot of challenges with processes and procedures. You not for always the shout say people are not doing well. If you try to know where the gaps are and see how you are able to reduce them gaps then. And that are the essence why we'll try very hard for ensure say that the manual is okay, the manual is launched. And very soon we'll start training in Western area and across the country, so we'll be able to train people on processes and procedures because we want to minimize the excesses.
Ibrahim Brahmasware, Chief Executive Officer of the National Public Procurement Authority, talking there to CTN's Lahai Jackson. And finally, here on Review of the Week for this weekend, most people believe that hate speech, if not addressed timely, has the potential to undermine peace and stability and development of any country. This notion has led some political parties and other civil society groups to condemn the act of spreading hate speech and other malicious incidents. Dr. Jonathan Sandi is the chairman and leader of the National Unity and Reconciliation Party. He spoke about the dangers of hate speech in a democratic dispensation.
What are the main drivers of hate speech? Exactly. Now that the driver tell you, so what will happen is that you get to understand, say, political parties will get to run database system. Membership. I can't then forget. For example, I get people that really sympathize with me when are supporters of my party, but they are not registered. And most of them people then they take the two major parties there now. You can find out say by your surname, yeah, by your surname or the region where you come from, people in the class in that party they belong. So whether you get party card or you get America or you get Britain on those, you don't belong to any of them two parties. You try a region, they don't tie you umbilical cord J. So you don't defend you only the thing say, like for example, I mean, you know, say now from the Southeast, come on. Now, if when we form the National Unity and Reconciliation Party, as I tell you so, I have still my own traditional people, elite, when they say, why you come on, you don't go from party? They think that we should belong to just one party. The same they go on the other region. You think so? So now, when they come, for example, when they kind of sack some people in our government, and they see most of the appointments they go, political appointees, they go from one region, then what you see they come, they say, oh, they don't exclude young people. They don't consider it. So somebody when they get party card, they jeopardize it because they feel say they don't tie their identity, the tribal and regional identity to APC. Others have tied their regional identity to NCPP. Let's put it on the table. So they're not a party card, but then Namende, then a Soso, then a Badingo, then a team this. So there's finance space inside on two parties. So therefore, if employment card, we don't talk about say most people they use tribal and regional sentiment for going inside politics and predate and make money. Wealth creation to politics. So who are responsible for this? Now we say the politicians, the voters. This division, everybody thinks because of me and Mendemi as me, I have to belong. Of course, we get responsible. I make tell you say the only way one of the way we will overcome the challenge of the CDK. Then we go back to what the Constitution say.
That's Dr. Jonathan Sande, chairman and leader of the National Unity and Reconciliation Party, talking to Siddiqui Fofana. So, what do some people in Freetown make of hate speech? My colleague Amidu Kuruma was out and about the streets of Freetown and sounded some of their views.
Mina Ibrahim Jallo from Faberwood Fireborn, the chairman for Fireborn Organization. The hate speech now just matter of hatred mind. Where somebody like you, anyhow you do, anything you do, where you do good or go bad, you just there for going and talk bad about you. That's the only option. And again, now let not let themselves, they not even let the country, because when you go do something way bad, they go and make an hate speech. Do something go up in the country. You don't serve the whole nation.
I'm named Kadiatu. I didn't 4th lane, 42B and 4th lane. Well, what see they all go on at the country? All now one because right now Mende they married to Timini. If you see say if any confusion can at this country, we all get for suffer. So we know Ahmed Dan they be. They try for Ahmed Dan they will not have a problem being at this country. Because if the problem be with the poor and then I will go suffer. We want my president be help we about this HP. Because if you any problem, then go all responsible. Because I know the boss for we not to our hope. I know everything to we.
My name is Augustine Kanja at the top from Fubewood. First of all, I want to advise some of my brothers them, especially we the citizens them, for say we stop them hate speech there. One thing about the social media, not all information you get in the media when a fact information is not credible. And the advice we all lobby the twin to radio. When listen to radio, you get credible information on radio. Not so somebody go just go talk, you send voice message, they begin take and say, hey, this is fact, this is not fact. No. You're not correct. Because somebody will get high education. When somebody will illiterate, he gets high education, he educates well. Somebody will just go send verbal information on WhatsApp, you do audio message, they yourself take and say this is not authentic, or you take and for granted say this is authentic or not or not. No.
Some people in Freetown talking there to Amidu Kuroma. And that's review of the week for this weekend. We have been reviewing some major stories that did make the headlines during the course of the week. On behalf of all of us here at CTN, I have been Musa Baisise, producer and presenter. Thanks for listening.